Nothing says quality like a movie licensed video game. After all, that Hollywood money is able to buy the best talent to make the best games. Who am I kidding? We all know that licensed video games, for the most part, tend to be terrible. There are some good ones out there, Turtles in Time, The Lion King, Aladdin, but let's be honest, the majority of them, they're just hot garbage. Three Ninjas Kick Back might not be hot garbage, but it is not good. Nothing in this game stood out to make it a must-play game. I played through it in 3 hours, and I kind of regret playing it. I wouldn't recommend you to spend 3 hours playing it. It's an okay game if you want to do it, but I can't recommend it. Overall, the controls were basic, they worked, they didn't do anything amazing, they weren't complicated. In fact, the A and the Y button did the same exact thing. B to jump, and then X to drop bombs. Pretty straightforward. If you pushed up, you could grab onto ledges. If you push down and jump, you go down below the ledge. Pretty straightforward, and I was able to figure it out just in a few minutes of gameplay, testing out the buttons. The graphics weren't anything amazing. For Super Nintendo, there are some games with great graphics, there are some games with bad graphics. This one was mediocre, especially for a licensed video game from Hollywood. UI was lacking in showing all the details of the game. It was very frustrating for me. Part of this game, you were able to collect items on the screen, and when you collected them, it allowed you to do ranged attacks, which was really awesome, but there was nothing on the UI that showed you how many projectiles you had left or how long they would last, so it just became a frantic use it all the time once you got it, because there was no indication on how long they would last. It was a big point of frustration for myself. The other odd thing about the UI, which was not too atypical for the game of its time, is the second player part of the screen was always showing, whether you had one player or two players. Not a deal breaker, but it was distracting when I was trying to figure out what all the items on the UI were. This was not a beat 'em up game, this is a action platformer, but I really felt like a beat 'em up in a lot of places. Some of the levels, it really felt like you were fighting the enemies to move forward, just like a beat 'em up. Was it necessary? Later I found out it was probably not best to fight everything. The timer. Let's talk about that timer. The time did not tick down in real time. It was in seconds, but it took a couple seconds for it to tick down. So you kind of forgot about it, then all of a sudden you hear the warning sound and you are screwed. The game has a lot of elements that make you want to explore the map, but if you do, there is no way you're going to finish a level on time. And this was a big point of frustration. And if you did not reach a checkpoint, back to the start of the level for you. So that timer was a big, unnecessary part of the game to me. For a game that had aspects that made you want to explore it more, that timer, especially the fact that the timer was not in seconds, it was in some arbitrary Three Ninjas Kick Back time, it drove me insane. Now the boss fights. The boss fights. Don't even get me started on the boss fights on this game. I guess I have to talk about them. I don't want to. Let's talk about them though. They were horrific. There was no other aspect of this game more disappointing than the boss fights. The boss fights were repetitive, redundant, and repetitive. It was attack, jump back, move forward, attack, jump back, move forward, attack, jump back, move forward, attack. And there was no skill involved. I died more on the bosses because I got bored. Then the final boss seems like they put all their time and effort into making it, and it was a breath of fresh air. And finally, a real boss fight. And then after dying to it a few times, I realized, nope, this is also repetitive. You jumped, attacked, jump back, jump forward, attack, jump back, and repeat forever. It was not fun. I cannot leave this review without talking about the music. Some part of the music was good, but I will just let the final stage music stand on its own, and you tell me what you think of this music. Now it's time for Wolfie Lion's scorecard for Three Ninjas Kick Back. Let's see how we did on gameplay. Ultimately, the gameplay wasn't bad, but those boss fights were horrific, holding this to 2 Wolfie Lions out of 5. And now those controls. The controls were okay, nothing amazing, simple, giving this a 3 out of 5 Wolfie Lions. Now the graphics and UI. While there was nothing game-breaking about the graphics, the UI left out a lot of important elements, leaving this 2 out of 5 Wolfie Lions. Now, the music. While most of the music was not that bad, on that last level, that music is unforgivable, making this a 1 out of 5 Wolfie Lions. And overall, the score is 2 out of 5 Wolfie Lions. Definitely not a game on my must-play list. Hey, this is your buddy Wolfie Lion. I hope you enjoyed the review. It's the first time me making a video like that, so if you have any comments, things you'd like to see in the future, put down in the comments. Let me know. If you like what I'm doing, if you want to watch me live, you can see the whole VOD of this. If you want to watch all 3 hours of me playing through Three Ninjas Kick Back, I'll put a link to that video down in the description. Or you could always come and follow me at twitch.tv Wolfie Lion and see what I'm doing. I'm playing through every single Super Nintendo game, A through Z. You also see me playing some Super Mega Baseball, maybe some Apex, and some other games mixed in. Remember, Wolfie Lion thinks you're awesome. I hope you have a wonderful day.